Well, India already produces what as million engineers or so per year, and yet all of the critical production know-how is coming from abroad. So, and it goes further. For example, about 2 years ago, I was in Shastra University in Tanjavur, which is in the rice producing heartland of Tamil Nadu, right? The rice granary. And this university has been there 30 plus years. It's actually a very good engineering school, engineering institution. It has produced a lot of alumni that have gone on to great success in many companies. Yet, if you look at the region itself, there is hardly any industry. If you go to Tanjavur district itself, there's hardly any industry. So, in spite of the presence of a really good engineering institution for 3 decades now, we have not been able to come up with industry. And this is true in many, many places in India. So, and I actually said in my in the address there that these universities have now become, even when they are very good, and they're often good, very good, and they become efficient vacuum cleaners of talent. You suck the talent and render it into either Bangalore or Chennai or abroad, often, right? And this actually is not helping the rural district. I mean, you can visibly see in Tanjavur district the manifestation of rural distress in terms of jobs, primarily jobs. That's the primary problem. And I would say it is not just a factory problem, set of factories, it's also a know-how problem. That is what, because a good example, Mexico, thanks to NAFTA, has a lot of factories. In fact, Mexico is the production hub of much of the North American market. Yet Mexico does not have the know-how. And therefore, Mexico is actually still stuck in that whole middle income or lower middle income trap, where Mexico still has to send its people abroad for work when they have so many factories already. And the reason is they don't have that know-how, production know-how. So the value addition is not staying in Mexico and it's not getting invested back into Mexico. That is the key problem. Yeah. So the responsibility is not with a fresh graduate. The responsibility with people who already have some capital, people who already have businesses, entrepreneurs, not just with a fresh graduate. So people who already have the means can invest in smaller scale production and acquiring the know-how. I mean, it doesn't actually something that it's one thing that people don't realize often. Take the textile machine that I talked about, a critical step in that whole textile factory. Take any one of those machines, for example, a spooler or something. I saw these machines. The R&D on that machine is probably 50 engineers, 30 engineers, definitely not even 100 engineers.
Yeah.
But it takes 3-5 years to be really good at it, maybe 10 years. So it's not about the number of engineers you have to put on it. It's the depth of expertise you have to gain on it. Okay. Right. And so many industrial houses in India can afford those 30 engineers, actually. And we just have to both hire those engineers, inspire them to do this. And this kind of 30 engineer effort can be in a rural area. That's exactly what that I am intending to do right now, to build these R&D know-how creation engines in rural areas. It doesn't matter where it is, because it's not even, there is no, really what is required is broadband and really good brains. That's really all the ingredients that are needed. And so coming to education here, coming back to that topic for a second, we actually still, I don't view a college degree itself as education. To me, it's really the capability to think critically, capability to be self-reliant citizens, participate in full citizenship. That is education to me. So I define it much more broadly. For example, to me, what is education? Education is really, I can think critically, I can process complex information, I can participate in citizenship. That means I can participate in decisions that are made about our village, our town, our district, our state, all of that. That is education. And that is what we need to do. And there is another component, which is, of course, actual skill development. And in India, we actually have not paid enough attention to skill development. And we have also not paid enough attention to critical skills. Instead, we have paid attention to degrees. Having that stamp that says, I have a degree. And that is actually the least useful component of education. It's what is a byproduct to indicate that somebody has all these skills. Now has become the central purpose. And that degree itself is the target of education. How many people have degrees?
Yes.
And I don't find it any more useful. That's why we don't actually rely on degrees at all in Zoho.